Hello everybody, welcome back to Bag Only, my inventory-only Ultimate Iron Man here on Oldschool Runescape, with a few extra limitations. I'm not using any storage containers or storage mediums or whatever, no stash units, no bags, no pouches, all that kind of good stuff. In the last episode we went into the wilderness, we completed the wilderness effectively, we did the easy, medium and hard wilderness diary, as well as all the boss achievements in the combat achievements that pertain to wilderness bosses at the easy or medium level. We also got our major arena cape too, as well as all the music tracks in there. We did some Slayer last episode, we ended up at 83, which is the level for Dragon Boots. But our ultimate goal for Slayer currently is 87 for that Trident. But before we get back into slaying, I want to make some melee upgrades just to make it as efficient as possible, because we'll be meleeing most of the tasks, I imagine. So I want to go get some Dragon Boots this episode, I want to get a Fire Cape this episode, maybe do a bit of miscellaneous skilling just to get out of the way while we're kind of in between things. And then also we're really close now to being able to complete the easy combat achievements, which have a couple of unlocks once you complete that entire tier, so we'll be having a look at some of the bosses in that as well, doing a little bit of budget PVM in between our slaying and gear upgrading. And then we'll be back into Slayer, sending it hopefully with a couple of higher max hit thanks to some gear upgrades. We'll get ourselves onto that Trident so we can get into some interesting bossing. Hey everybody, here we are. Gonna finally do some fire making now. We're kind of in between things. I've been chilling at Minnows for ages for the last few days. Got ourselves over 2,000 noted raw sharks from just trading in like 87k minnows. So we can just unnote these in theory here at the fire outside the bank, unnoting them at the bank and cooking them, then going back in and doing more games of Wintertop. I think the goal here will be at the very least like 75 fire making to get this above the 74 for Prayer and Herblore. Gear wise, I've just gone and got some yak hide from the shop in Yatizo, and then Fremi gloves from Relica, and then the Pride scarf from Django. So yeah, we've got our warm clothing on, still got our Major Arena 2 cape on obviously, and I'll just let you guys know how this goes, because Wintertop sucks, I hate it, but we do need it above our Tears of Guthic's lowest skill level, so that will go into either Prayer or Herblore, which are the two hardest skills for us currently to train. So here we are at Wintertop. I know I've complained about this quite a lot, saying I don't like it and stuff, but it actually is a lot less painful than it used to be on this account. When I first went for Wintertop for like 70 fire making or whatever for questing, I didn't have access to noted sharks or anything. I was just teleporting out and buying Warrior's Guild potatoes, which means we could probably get 1.5 games of Wintertop maybe per invent. But of course with noted sharks you can unnote them outside on the bank like I mentioned, cook them outside and then just run back in without missing a game. So it's a lot more efficient these days, which is really cool. 2 levels into our fire making journey here I pulled the Pyromancer body. This is of course one of the pieces of warm clothing from here that also provides an extra bit of fire making experience, so I just swapped out our yak hide for this one. And a little bit later we also pulled some warm gloves, which are purely cosmetic, but they also act as warm clothing, so I replaced our Fremi gloves with those. Throughout I think we got 3 Bruma torches, which is like a wieldable tinderbox, and I think 2 warm gloves, which by the end we turned all those into Ignicia for crates, because you can swap those duplicates for supply crates with a single roll inside. Didn't pull anything good from those. Throughout we also pulled the Pyromancer hood, which is another XP boosting piece, which was cool, but it did mean we'd have to take our Slayer helm off to benefit from this, so we lost an invent space throughout during that, but that wasn't too bad. I think it was something like 10 or 12 hours to go all the way from 72 to 85, giving us 13 total levels on the account and pushing us past 1900 total. Hey guys, here we are in the Farming Guild, just done 2 back-to-back birdhouse runs overnight. Got ourselves our first ever Celastris seed, which I've potted up. Got a garden pie boost to get into this back room and plant it, and I've got the 8 potato cactus to guarantee it grows, and some ultra compost to increase the yield. So once this tree's done, all we need to do is come in here with another garden pie boost from the Cook's Guild, harvest this tree, fletch one of the battle staffs, and we'll have one of the elite Karen diaries done. So eventually I think we'll end up getting the Karen elite, but yeah, just planted a nice Celastris, thought I'd let you guys know. Hey everybody, there we go, that's 85 fire making completed. As you can see we've done a total of 149 winter toads. That was about 2.3 mil from 72 to get these 13 levels. Now fire making is far and away nowhere near our lowest skill, it's one of our highest now, which is really good. I'm not going any higher than 85 currently, could definitely go for 99 because it is, like I say, over 200k an hour, so it'd be like 50 hours of doing this more to get 99, but there's just no unlocks really that are any good after 85. But with 85 that's the level to make an Infernal Axe, and you can't boost for that, so if we ever get a Smouldering Stone, that's in the bag potentially. And also there's an elite Kandarin diary step that requires 85 as well. What I will do since we're done here is just trade in all of our Pyromancer pieces. We've got 3 pieces of the outfit if you include the gloves, which aren't technically the outfit but they are really, and this Bruma torch. It's probably better if you're a normal Iron Man to trade these in for burnt pages for your Tome of Fire, but we're out of here, so let's see if we pull the pet from these 4 crates potentially. As you can see, just coins, 5 Avanto, 3 rubies. and some more coins. We did make a little bit of cash here. I think we had about 800, 900k when we came in, so we've made a little bit. We're now back over a mil. We used around 800 raw sharks. We've also very nearly got a fletching level as well from fletching the wood inside. Currently our herb lore is our lowest skill, so when it comes to Tuesday, Tears of Guthix will go into that, which is ideal. So another little bit of housekeeping here real quick. We currently have 4 mini quests left. As you know, we've completed all the regular quests in the game. There's of course the God Wars bosses, there's another Land of the Goblins quest, there's some Tombs of a Mascot messing about, and then there's this 4th one, Bear Your Soul, which is a very, very short quest where you have to walk to Arceus on Zaya, then go to the Taverley dungeon, speak to 2 people, and then dig up the Soul Bearer, and that's the end of the quest and the reward. The Soul Bearer is normally an item that you use in sold heads on, and it sends them to your bank, but for Ultimate Iron Men there's no function to this item whatsoever. It doesn't do anything, so I just really quickly went and spoke to these people, dug this thing up, just to cross off this mini quest, and then just dropped the Soul Bearer on the floor. Another one real quick, I still had an achievement over at Temperos that I didn't do last time we were there, so I just really quickly, while we had a relatively empty invent, just nipped to Temperos, did a single solo, and knocked off that combat achievement just so it's out the way for later on. Right guys, it's been a couple of days, and I think our Celastris is ready here in the farming guild. Still need to boost to get inside, so I've grabbed a new garden pie. And the final thing we need to do once we've harvested this entire crop is simply use a knife on one of this Celastris bark and turn it into a battle staff. But there we go, that's an elite Corendon Kebos task, and each of these battle staffs will be worth 4k in alks as well, so a little bit of money for planting that, nearly 20k farming XP, and a nice elite achievement. Right gang, next up, with all our skilling done and we're back out of the wilderness, I just want to kill one of these moss giants real quick in this Corend dungeon. There's just an easy combat task to kill one of each of these giants. We've killed the hill giants and fire giants before, so killing one moss giant should give us an achievement. There we go. And with that moss giant dead, I'm back here in the caves. I've grabbed ourselves a bone crusher, because each of these hill giants that you kill in 2 hits gives you 2 prayer points back if you bury their bones. So it's really, really good to bring a bone crusher here. So what we're just going to do here is camp these guys for some Obor keys. As you can see in the chat there, we've killed 2 Obor so far on this account, and for all his achievements you need 5 KC, similar to Briarfighter. We just need to kill Obor while he's immobilized, don't take any damage off prayer, kill him 5 times, and kill him on free to play. So we will be getting ourselves 3 giant keys from these hill giants. Don't think they're super rare, so it shouldn't take too long, and in the meantime we're obviously training our combats, and then we can knock out all our Obor achievements. 2 of those are for the medium diary, and 2 of them are for the easy combat diary. So these 2 Obor tasks will be half of the last 4 we need for easy. I believe the other 2 are Sarachnis kills and mole kills, so we'll look at those 2 as soon as we've done with Obor, and then we'll have easy combat tasks done. Hey everybody, there it is, our 3rd giant key. As you can see, along with those 3, we've also got 2 long bones for some construction XP, and a whole bunch of herbs to make some potions out of, which is really good. Okay guys, we're back on free to play. I have a grand total of 6 swordfish with which to get this Obor kill, but at least this time I have the runes for both Snare and Fire Blast. Don't really have mage gear on, got prayer gear instead, and hopefully we can kill him in just a couple of hits. Obviously there are a couple of combat achievements here, but we do have to come back later anyway with another giant key, so not really too worried about getting every single one. So hopefully we can kill him this cycle before he walks towards us. And we should be able to get out of this with just some food and not even having to eat. So there we go, that's Obor defeated. We actually got ourselves squashing the giant as well as fighting as intended. Kill Obor without taking any damage off prayer, which is arguably the most difficult one. Now all we need to do is kill him while he's immobilized, which I feel like we just did, but I guess not. And then kill him 5 times. So we'll be off to members now. We'll be gearing up in real gear, and we'll kill him a lot easier than with this silly death rune spell. Right guys, we're going to do a little bit of a montage here of bossing because I did like a whole day of PVM and somehow my microphone was disconnected, so there's no voiceover for any of these clips. So this will be some quickfire content. Basically we headed to Obor and we did the rest of his achievements, but it was very easy. We just got our 5 kills at Obor, killing him while he was immobilized, killing him in free to play, and killing him without taking any damage off prayer, which was really cool. After that I headed over to the giant mole. We had 1 KC anyway, so we just needed 24 more for the 25 KC for medium, and the other achievement we'd be getting was the 10 KC for the easy achievements. So I knocked both these out in 1 trip, only used 2 prayer pots because we were making use of corner safe spots and flicking as much as possible. Had about 5 people enter the room because it's incredibly busy at Mole, and for some reason there's still no instance at Mole. Very nearly got crashed but didn't really get anything of note other than 100 U-logs, but the noted Mole pieces that I traded to Weiss and afterwards gave us so many nests, it was insane. In just 25 kills at Mole, I ended up with 45 different seed nests, which allowed us to go plant a whole bunch of trees and herbs, and then quite a lot of empty nests and ring nests as well. I ended up dropping all these in the Sears Village Bank. There was quite a lot of people there, so it ended up as kind of a drop party with people running around grabbing these nests. Obviously they're worth a few K each, so someone got rich that day. Must have been a good time for them. So guys, with Mole out of the way and Obor completed as well, the only thing we have left for our easy combat achievements is to kill Sarachnis 10 times, but while we're there, we're also going to work on killing 25 Sarachnis, and also killing Sarachnis with a crush weapon, which are both the achievements for the medium combat diary. So just before that, obviously we already have the Slayer level now to go get Dragon Boots with 83 from Spiritual Mages, so I'm just geared up in God Protection gear, headed over to the God Wars dungeon. I'm just going to kill some of these Zami mages up here until we get the 1 in 128 Dragon Boots, just because it should add another max hit and a little bit more defense for when we're fighting this boss with melee. And of course, wouldn't you believe it, the Dragon Boots are a 1 in 128, but it took us precisely 400 Spiritual Mage kills. That's over 3 times the drop rate to receive our first pair of Dragon Boots, but you know, what can you do about that? Right, hello everybody, it's a brand new day. I would have done some Sarachnis yesterday, but killing Spiritual Mages took my whole evening, so it was like 3.5 hours or 3 hours 40 or something to get these boots. Kinda wild. But here we are in the Sarachnis lair. We've got our slash weapon, which is also our crush weapon, the Colossal Blade. Now, believe it or not, this should be kind of competitive here with things like the Leaf-Bladed Battle Axe. It's certainly better than a D-Sim, which is our next best weapon. So yeah, hopefully this goes well. We've got a pretty rubbish necklace, just an unholy symbol. Just crafted this after we got rid of our glory to put it in our jewelry box, and then here's the invent, a lot of junk that we can't get rid of, but luckily this is kind of an entry level boss. Now the reason we're in D'hide is because you want magic defense here, which is also a bonus because we have on us still the mage cape too, which has 15 mage defense, so it's also a good cape to bring here. So the reason mage defense is important is because we're manually praying melee and missiles against the boss, but when the boss summons minions throughout the fight, they're of all 3 combat styles, and there's of course a mage minion, so if we just stack up on mage defense and then focus on just praying the other 2, then we should get through this without taking too much damage. So the combat achievements in here are literally just get 10 kills, get 25 kills, and also kill it with a crush weapon, which this weapon should count as. Of course, you can get a nice drop here of a Sarachnis Cudgel, which is a mace, a one-handed mace, and it's actually better than a D-Sim because it's a tier 65 weapon as opposed to a tier 60, so if we do pull that in the next 25 kills, that would be nice, but we certainly don't need it, like I say, because we're 2 Slayer levels away from the whip. The thing with this sword is it's also a 6-tick weapon, so if you do miss, then there's a lot of downtime between doing any damage to the actual boss, which always sucks. And there's our first Sarachnis KC. I think we got through that okay. There's Newspaper Enthusiast for killing Sarachnis with Crush, and 25 rubies as a prize, so really nice. There we go, that's 2 KC, pretty much a full invent of supplies, but we got another 25 noted gems, so I guess we'll leave, get some more stuff. Our first kill was 2 minutes 8, our second was 2 minutes 46, so they're certainly not quick kills, but we can get kills. So, Sarachnis, not necessarily the most difficult boss in the game, but despite this, yes, I did manage to die on my 3rd kill. I guess I just wasn't paying enough attention. I left myself on 28 health, and I got stacked to 20 and an 8, which is very silly. But it is very easy for us to get back to our death piles now in most locations, because we do spawn in Prif right next to the house portal. On 5KC, I did manage to pull a hard combat task by accident, which is the one where you don't take any damage from Sarachnis during the fight, so you just nail all your prayers, called Insect Repellent. On KC number 6, we pulled the first unique from Sarachnis, a 1 in 20 giant sack of eggs. Now this is an item that when you use a knife on it, you can take out 100 unnoted red spider eggs to use for making restore pots or super restores, so I did decide to keep this in the invent, wasting 1 invent space, because it will be so useful later on when it comes to farming our snapdragons and doing a whole bunch of herb lore, so I figured it was worth 1 less food. So one thing I could be doing to extend our trips here is not only get rid of a couple of items that I'm not going to do, is go get anglerfish instead of sharks, but obviously we have 900 noted sharks anyway, so that seems like a bit of a waste. This is the method we're going to be using, just unnoting these sharks here in the Myths Guild, cooking them on this range that's right next to a bank. Then we leave Telly home, we go to the Warriors Guild next to pre-pot up, just sip them in the shop, just so we don't have to waste any space taking them with us, and then with all that I'll just unnote the rest of the prayer pots at the Warriors Guild bank, Telly home, refill run, then go to the Woodcutting Guild and head back to the boss. Here we go, that's 9 KC at the Spidery now for some Cosmic Runes. Might be able to do a second one. We'll certainly try, because we've got quite a lot of supplies left. Like I say, if we did have a Slayer task, it would probably be worth doing this with a real weapon, not this meme blade. It may be that once we get 10 KC, we'll go turn in our easy combat achievements, we'll get that reward I was talking about that makes your Warriors Guild tokens quicker so we can get our Defender back, and then maybe with a Defender and like a D-Mace, we'll come back to this boss, maybe try get a Toriel Spider task as well, and then the next 15 kills to get 25 KC might be a lot smoother. But obviously in the past, our luck with skipping Slayer tasks to try and get a specific task has been terrible, If you remember back to the previous episode where we killed King Black Dragon, I cut a lot of it out, but I went through like 30 skips and wasted 700 Slayer points to try and get a task to kill 3 KBD. Really wasn't worth doing, and I think at this point we don't actually have any Slayer points if I remember correctly. There's Sarachnis Novice anyway, and we've completed all the combat achievements in the easy tier. So let's go real quick, turn in our easy combat achievements, something we've been working towards now for like 2 episodes or so. So if you go to the Warriors Guild, this cool guy called Gommel stands outside, who's some kind of giant, I guess. Hey man, I've done my easy combat tasks. Please could you give me my rewards? And then for this one, like I say, we get ourselves the Gommel Tilt 1, which is 3 daily teleports outside God Wars to where the trolls are, so it saves us bringing runes if we want to telly there. We get a 5k XP lamp for our herb lore. We get a 5% increased chance to get any easy clue scroll from anywhere except implings, so from bosses, from skilling drops. It even works at ham members, so if we go back to do our other God books one day, it'll be slightly quicker doing that. If we get boss assignments at Slayer Masters, we can have 40 boss kills instead of 35, and we get 1 more pest control point per game of pest control, as well as double Warriors Guild tokens. So that's easy combat achievements done. That's really, really cool. Just been around and bought a full set of myth armor from some shop. As you know, you come into this magical animator in here and you put your armor inside, it turns into an NPC, and then you kill said NPC and it drops a bunch of Warriors Guild tokens which you use to get time in the Cyclops room in order to kill the Cyclopses, which drop the Dragon Defender. Of course, the Dragon Defender downstairs is a 1 in 100, so it's not super hard to get back. As you can see now, for just a very simple myth plate body armor set, we get 50 Warriors Guild tokens, so it'll only be 2 kills to actually be allowed into the Cyclops room, which is insane. Hey guys, there's our Dragon Defender back at 94 Cyclopses. It's a 1 in 100, so pretty much almost exactly on drop rate. So here we go, here's the gear now. We're going to go try Sarachnis with a D-Mace most likely, and a Dragon Defender. So I might go do 161 Cal fights first. I don't know if it's worth the effort, just on the off chance we get a Terrail task that is spiders afterwards. Okay guys, since we've last been at Sarachnis, I've done 8 Toriel Slayer tasks, including the Steve task we were currently on, just to do Cal fights. So now we're at 289, so I've picked up a regular Steve task, and he's kind of blessed us with 30 minions of Scarabus, so I'm going to do the Pyramid Blunder thing again. We'll end up killing 30 of the Scarab swarms in here, and in doing so we'll progress this task. We'll get the nice bonus for completing a 10th task in a row at Steve, get ourselves a couple more Slayer points because we're only down to 40, and then we'll go back to Toriel for the next 9 up to 300 tasks. Try and pull spiders in that time so we can have a little bit of an easier time at Sarachnis, and if we don't, then we'll just do a 300th task at Konar. So let's just see what happens. I'll see you in a bit. If I get the scepter, you'll see it. If not, I guess you'll see me on the next Slayer task or something. Okay guys, that's 9 Toriel tasks out the way. None of them were spiders, sadly, but let's see what we get from Konar. 3 Rune Dragons. I'm not going to skip that because it's such a short task. I don't know if we'll be able to kill a Rune Dragon. I guess we get insulated boots. We'll have to really clear this invent up first though, because we're not going to get a 1-kill trip with all this garbage, but I'm itching to actually go try some Rune Dragons, see how it goes. So guys, here we are a lot later on in the day in Lithkren. Took us quite a while to get the items together for this, but let's see if we can kill literally a single of these 3 Rune Dragons we've received as a task. Gonna go with range just because we've got diamond bolts and the highest range level. So we'll just stay out of melee range and we'll protect range, and we'll hope that their major attacks splash. And we'll just see if we can kill 3 of these. Because if we can kill 3 and complete this task, then that'll be a relatively quick task. I didn't want to go back and use one of our skips on Konar, because we do want Slayer points at the end of the day. As long as our anti-fire doesn't drop, I reckon we'll be relatively safe. As you can see, our max hit here is 41, but our chance to hit is super low. So we're really just kind of hoping for RNG here as ever, but of course we've got the Diamond Bolts effect, so every now and again that'll proc, and our shot will ignore the dragon's defense. Now, even if I get 1-kill trips here, as long as we can actually finish this task of just 3 dragons, I'll be relatively happy. So there's a Rune Dragon killed. I'm not sure we'll be able to kill 3 with a single prayer potion, but it is nice to know that we can, in fact, do damage to them. So we'll take this as a 2-kill trip, come back, kill this last one real quick in a sec, just unnote 1 more prayer pot and get some more food, and that'll be our 300th task complete, and we can go back to Toriel and do his next 9 and see if we pull spiders for Sarachnis. Okay guys, there we go, that's 300 tasks in a row, and that task was worth 450 Slayer points, giving us a total of 550. But there we go, some Cal fights to do, so I'll see you guys if we get spiders, or if not, probably at 309 tasks, and we'll go back to Steve or Konar for another one. Right gang, birdhouse run time, and with this birdhouse will be 79 hunter. That does mean one more level and we can go tackle herbivore potentially to try and get some nice herbs. Hey everybody, here we are just doing a tiny little bit of fletching. As you know, we did Wintertot a bit ago and we got a little bit of fletching XP. We're super close to 75, so I thought I'd just round out this level because it is somewhat of a milestone. We can chop magic logs into arrow shafts, and we can also make rune arrows, which is kind of cool because we already have the smithing level with no boost to make rune bars into rune arrow tips. Next level will unlock amethyst broad bolts, but obviously you need 92 mining to get amethyst, so that's not happening. And then obviously at 80 we get MSBs, so that's also cool. Right guys, 309 tasks down. What can we get from Lady Konar today? Skeletal wyverns? I'm in the mood for some skelly wyverns. Let's go give that a go. So our DPS here at the Skeletal Wyverns is fairly bad. As you can see, we've got less than a 50% chance to hit, but it's still not a very difficult task if you just stand next to them, bring the correct shield and protect melee. Got no problem with doing 11 of these for Konar. Doesn't even really take long to make the shield, as I mentioned before. They keep dropping me unnoted 2 4-dose prayer pots, which is insane. On this trip I've definitely profited prayer potions. I am hoping to actually use all our prayer pots up, because I've got a lot of snapdragons currently planted, and I've got this spider egg sack from Sarachnis still in the invent, which contains 100 red spider eggs. I don't really want to have both super restores and prayer pots in the invent at once. So the goal for Slayer at the minute, until we get a spider task to go to Sarachnis, is just use up our prayer potions. And then we can go do a little bit of farming, make a bunch of super restores, and get rid of this egg sack as well. I've also picked up half a crystal key from Slayer, which is cool. If we can come across a loop half, then we can go make our glory back and replace this unholy symbol I've been using for like a couple of days or weeks, so that'll be good. At the end of the day, we are getting Slayer XP, and we're getting our Slayer points back that we wasted during our KBD grind last episode. Right, there's 83 defense coming in here at some Banshees on a Terrail task. Really, really nice. Not really sure why I'm training defense, honestly. I think it's probably like the worst of these three to train right now, but there you go, it's a level nonetheless. Hey guys, here we are, Slayer, task number 320. Only 14 Zygomites in Xanaris, that's really, really easy. Another really easy Konar task. 14 Mushroom Men, super, super easy, let's go. Hey guys, quick easy clue here, got ourselves a black cane for the collection log. 177 easies done now, which is surprisingly high, but there you go. Right guys, here we are, task number 330. Will we get anything good from Konar? Dagonoths in the Catacombs, that is great. Again, would be really nice to have the Ancient Altar in our house so we could swap over and do this with Mage. I don't know when we'll stop and just send Sarachnis without a task. Maybe at 350 if we get that far without getting spiders. But to be honest, I'm not really having a bad time just slaying like this, so not in a rush. There we go, gamers. Would you believe it? 23 spiders from Terrail. Let's just take another quick look at what we're missing from the Medium Diary. You can see all of them here on one small page. It's literally just 15 more Sarachnis. Then, like I say, 10 kills at each DK. And then all we'll have left to look at is Skotiz-owned, which we'll be picking up totem pieces while we do our Slayer grind. Kill Skotiz-owned with the altars down and with an arc-light weapon. So Sarachnis is really the only accessible combat task we have left to do that we still need to do. So with Sarachnis down, we'll be looking over to our Fire Cape to get extra strength bonus, then we'll be sending Slayer to 87 for our Trident. So I'll be gearing up and we'll head back to Sarachnis. We'll see if the D-Mace and Slayer task combo is better than the Colossal Blade was. Since we're out of prayer pots, I'll probably also make some super restores so we can drop this egg sack as well. Right guys, clearing up the invent for some Sarachnis. Take a look at this, we're doing ourselves some Snappy Ds. I've gone around the game, harvested pretty much all our Snapdragons. We've got so many super restores here. They should last us through 15 Sarachnis kills, and then we'll use these as well for our Fire Cape run. The reason they're noted is because I made them at the Nada Herbalist, who combines cleaned herbs and noted vials into noted unfinished potions, which are really convenient to unnote, and then do herb lore with like so. So with our inventory cleaned up a little and a whole bunch of super restores made, it was back to Sarachnis with the benefit of being on task this time. On our first kill back, which was 11 KC, I pulled a grubby key, which opens the grubby chest, of course, in the Forthos dungeon, just outside the boss room. Pulled ourselves some super potions and some sharks, which I guess is kind of helpful. Of course, we've still got loads of noted raw sharks anyway. If the sharks weren't super good, would have been nice to pull something like Bruise, so we could just keep those in the back pocket for Jad a bit later. With the benefit of being on a Slayer task here, it was actually so much smoother that I actually managed managed our first 3 kill trip here to Sarachnis, which was really, really nice to see, because I have been doing 1 kill trip, sometimes 2 kill trips in the past. And then, yeah, just a couple more kills, nothing really much more to say, just a lot easier than it was before. Still taking a long time to get back here each trip, still going through our house to the woodcutting guild and then running north and then all the way around the dungeon. Like I say, it would be a lot quicker if we had a mounted Xerix to get back, so we could just teleport to Xerix Glade from our house. But for that, I will need to go get 50 Xerix talismans or do Chambers of Xeric for the fangs, so that's not something I want to look at yet. There it is, Sarachnis Champion. And there it is, some really, really good progress to our goal of medium combat achievements. Of course, we fully completed easy, and we've done 34 of the 41 challenges required for medium. We're just missing a Skotiz-owned kill, then 10 of each Dagonoth King, including killing Rex while he's frozen or snared. Anyway, that's Sarachnis complete, so next thing on our agenda is a Fire Cape for strength bonus, then we'll be getting back into Slayer, so let's do it. Okay guys, time to get our inventory together for a Fire Cape. Obviously we'll be doing it with range, so we're pretty much already in the gear we'll be using. Black D-hide and Shazian boots. I've just reverted our crystal shield into a seed. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go get 40 crystal shards from Prith and make a crystal bow and save 750k. I guess if we want the ultimate efficiency for going for the Fire Cape, then we should pretty much drop our cash anyway to take one more potion. So what we're doing is we're getting rid of our noted sharks here by just cooking them up and getting the XP out of them. Because like I say, when we do take food to the fight cave, we will be taking anglerfish or pineapple pizzas because it's our absolute best food. So there's really no point hanging on to a stack of raw sharks when they're so easy to get back. Whoa guys, there we go, there's 85 cooking coming in, excuse the flash. That's actually a very interesting level. That's the level for wild pies, which as you know are a +5 Slayer boost, so we could technically go cook some wild pies and boost up to 88 Slayer, which would allow us to kill abyssal demons and potentially get a whip. If the whip was more common, I'd probably do it, but the whips are 1 in 512. Of course, we ended our manual cooking training at 84 because that was the level to do anglerfish back when we did Song of the Elves. That's 1 cooking level gained since then. Right gamers, here we are outside Jad. This is the gear. Crystal Bow Glory, Ardy Cloak for the prayer bonus because we don't need an assembler, Blessing for the prayer bonus, Ring for the prayer bonus, Shazian boots because they're our best current range boots, and then Slayer Helm just because it has 3 range bonus and we can't be bothered to swap it for an Archer's Helm. I've never done this with a Crystal Bow before. This does have 3,000 charges, we got a fresh one, plus we got 5 extra shards just in case, and then we've got Anglerfish, Range Pots and Super Restores. At worst, I could drop the Teleport Crystal and the Redwood Seed, they're non-essential items, but these two I'm certainly not dropping. So all I'm going to do here is pre-pot, pre-angler, unnote the rest as super restores, and then just head straight in. So this was Fight Cave's attempt number 1, and yes, because I'm saying attempt number 1, you know what's going to happen next. Managed to get ourselves up to wave 42, took half an hour, but I just had really, really bad positioning. I didn't really know what I was doing, because I've not honestly done a Fire Cape in probably 2 or 3 years on this game. So yeah, I just ended up getting trapped behind the Ranger and the Major at the same time, so I couldn't possibly pray against both. And then I tried to run around this rock to the other side, and they both followed me. I didn't manage to trap any of them. So yeah, I just got annihilated, because I didn't really know what I was doing. A little bit rusty at it is a bit of a shame. Clearly the play, right, is run. Can't kill me, I'm too good. I'm insane at the game, what can you do? This is worse! No! Right gamers, here we are on the island of shame after failing our first attempt at the Fight Caves, but that's okay. I'm about to get a farming level here. These hardwood trees have grown. That's 15k XP each, it's ridiculous. So there it is, 83 farming. You can now do spirit trees without any kind of boost. But as far as I'm aware, there's nothing really left to unlock except redwood trees, which for some reason aren't under trees. I guess they're under special. That's 85 plus 5, however. So I do still have this seed. If we can keep it for just 2 more farming levels, then we can do a stew boost, which would be really good because that's obviously a Korend elite achievement to grow one of those. And then at 86 plus 5, we can put a second spirit tree somewhere, maybe Port Sarim or something. Don't really know where we'll put that, but that's a long ways off. That's 83 farming. Here's the skills in case we haven't checked in a while. Now 1920 total. Anyway, for now, I'm just rebuilding. Just getting a little bit of hunter XP while we're in between things, and we have the capability to do some birdhouses, and I'll go sell these nests and rings and scrape some GP together, because we do need to find some more potions now we failed that first attempt, so we can make 7 more super restores, but we're probably going to have to go to Chaos Druids or something and pull some Ranors to fill those last few slots. So after our first failed attempt at Jad, I was of course booted outside the fight caves with nothing to our name, because I dropped all my coins and other non-essential items on the ground to have as many supplies as possible for an attempt. So what I had to do is really quickly go around, make a little bit of money, and find some more seeds to plant more herbs to make more potions for another go. So I spent the day rebuilding pretty much. I had to find some more snapdragon seeds from various monsters, I had to telegrab some more wines and get some more dwarf weeds to make some more range pots, do some more fishing to get some anglerfish for food, and then we were able to actually do another attempt that same day, but it was a very long day of resupplying. So on this second attempt, I did actually manage to get all the way to Jad. It took 1 hour 20 minutes. I managed to get through all those painful waves where there's both mages and rangers, because I was stood in the opposite side of the room to last time, which is a more sensible place because you're more likely to be able to trap one of the damage types behind terrain, so you can just pray against one type of damage and just clear the waves. Where I fell down here though is I wasn't quite sure what to do during Jad. I did make a mistake or two throughout the wave, so I had literally no food when it came to the Jad wave, and I had like 60 HP, so I couldn't have possibly tagged all the healers off of Jad and just tanked them. So what I did first was kill all the healers, but it took me so long to kill them, Jad actually healed up to full even when I was range potted up and praying. So then again, when I damaged him down to the healer threshold a second time, the healers spawned again. But I didn't think he spawned healers again if you killed them all, but apparently if they heal him to full health, then he does in fact respawn the healers. So the second time the healers spawned, I was kind of caught off guard. I didn't really know what to do. I started killing them again, and then I realised I'd be in the same problem again because he'd just spawned a third round of healers. So with the final two of the second set, I tried to get them trapped round the corner, and in doing so I think I was slightly late to do a prayer switch, and I got killed by one of Jad's mage attacks, which really sucks because like I say, I made a mistake during the waves. I had no food left when it got to the Jad wave, so I was only on about 64 health I think, so I just really genuinely didn't know what else to do here. But I was learning as I was going, so it wasn't too bad I guess. The sad thing about failing Jad a second time is that once again I'm now out of supplies completely. I don't have any herbs planted in the ground whatsoever to make more potions for another go. The crystal bow now doesn't have enough charges to have another attempt at this, and a fresh crystal bow costs 750k to buy, and of course I dropped my GP outside for extra supplies to actually get in here, so I'm pretty much starting from scratch outside of our equipment, so it might be a couple of days till we're back here, so let's see what happens. Hey gamers, here we are. I'm at the agility pyramid, looking dejected, sad, and all around disappointed at my performance at the fight caves the other day. I know a fire cave is really easy, and my range level's 99, and I was potted and had black d-hide, so I really have no excuse. But yeah, I don't know, I guess I was slightly too slow on protecting mage at the end there, even though I feel like I wasn't, because the prayer was up, but I'm not going to argue about it. So my current goal is simply just to get a little bit of cash, because obviously I sold up all my stuff and dropped my cash stack to get one more potion in the fight caves. So right now that is in our invent everything I currently own, so I just like thieved some men or whatever, just to afford the very basic water skins and desert robes from Oboreason. I'm just going to do a couple of laps here of the agility pyramid. Obviously you get 10k per lap, and maybe we'll either buy ourselves a dragon skin or some kind of other basic weapon like a bow or a crossbow. And I think what we'll do today is we'll head over to probably the moss giants back in the catacombs. If you remember, we did those just before we went to the wilderness. We did a session of those giants. We got enough boss keys to complete all the Briarfighter achievements, and in the meantime I was granted with I think 7 Ranar seeds. I feel like that'll be a really good place to go train for a while, so we can go plant more Ranars, make prayer pots out of those, and go attempt Jad again. Another consideration is since I've just done 2 fight cave attempts, we're going to have to make 750k for a brand new crystal bow, or alternatively get like 20 crystal shards, which takes ages if you're not doing Zolcano. I don't really want to do Zolcano right now because there's no point, the loot's useless to us. So yeah, gonna work on getting money together and then some kind of prayer potions together, then we'll have a look at getting some more range pots as well, and then we'll go have another attempt. So see you guys in a bit. Right guys, here we are at the Moss Giants. Got my first Ranar seed in the bag. There's like a 1 in 98 chance from these bad boys to get a Ranar seed. So we'll kill a few hundred of these. I want to get 4 or 5 Ranars planted because I've got a lot of Torstals in the ground. They're not entirely useful for our account, so I want to dig all those up, do a herb lore boost, just turn those into like Zami brews or something for the XP, and then replace those with either Snapdragons or Ranars. So yeah, still a lot of stuff to get together. It's going to be a lot of time before we're back in the cave having another go at Jad, but that's just the nature of this account. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to farm some herbs and stuff. Hey gamers, here we are, Tears of Guthix. Done a little bit of work today to make sure that our prayer was above Herblore, so Herblore the lowest skill, so it gets the like 11k or whatever it's going to be from this minigame. Been doing obviously Moss Giants for Ranor Seeds, but I've been doing all the Unsold Heads that they dropped as well for that 650 prayer XP each time, just to push that skill slightly above Herblore. So here it is, 13,000 Herblore XP, 22k away from 75, which is the interesting level. We can clean Torstals, but we can't actually turn them into any kind of potions for like 3 more levels after that. So we're now getting closer and closer to being 77, which is stamina potions with no boost, and then of course our ultimate goal of 82, so we can make brews and also +5 for anti-venoms. So along the way we managed to complete a hard casket and pull a Guthix coif, which is kind of crazy. It's a ranged D-hide helmet with prayer bonus and better accuracy than the Slayer helm, but this got me thinking actually about the potential of just doing Jad on a Slayer task, so I looked into that next. So, gamers, I've had a bit of a revelation. I don't know if this is true, but according to the wiki, if you unlock TzHarmed tasks here at the Slayer Master Reward Shop, then you can actually use this for a Jad task even if you don't have a KC on Jad. Now, I assumed you couldn't do a Jad on task until you'd already got your Fire Cape the first time, because that's how the Inferno works. But I guess maybe for Jad it doesn't matter, you can do it for your first kill. So yeah, it may be that we can get the accuracy and damage bonus of being on task while we're actually doing Jad, so that could be a really big help. We'll probably just do some regular Steve Slayer, and then as soon as he assigns us a TzHarmed task, then we'll work on gearing up and going back and actually doing another attempt at Jad. So there's some nice Herblore XP, 1110, which means we're now 9,999 Herblore XP away from 75, which is cool. What I do have though is some coconuts. I've just been to the Korasks to get some more of these, and we got another magic seed from birdhouses, specifically because there is an elite Western Diary task to plant a magic tree here and also pay this gnome to protect it with coconuts. So there we go, an elite Western task out the way. I think we have enough in terms of potions here. We've got like 98 prayer pot sips, then we've got a little over 2 full ranging pots and 1 super restore. So I'm going to do some Slayer, hopefully make some GP along the way till we get a Jad task. Now if it turns out that the task doesn't allow us to do Jad and the wiki's actually wrong, then we will be wearing this Guthix coif that I just pulled from a hard clue, and if needs be I'll just ditch the Slayer helm again and we'll get it back after the Fire Cape, because the Fire Cape's a lot more important. If you weren't aware, there's a Slayer Master calculator on the wiki where you can put in all your quests, all your skills, your block list, and all your Slayer unlocks. And with all that plugged into Steve, TzHarmed are actually his highest chance task, so it shouldn't be too long till we pull a TzHarmed task. But currently, 92k away from 84 Slayer, so we've done quite a lot of this Slayer level. Obviously that helps out, because we're going to go straight into Slayer as soon as we get our Fire Cape anyway, but hopefully the task comes up soon and it helps us get our Fire Cape. Hey everybody, here we are at Bloodveld's, about to get ourselves a Superior, which is real nice. Actually been trucking along towards 84 Slayer here. We're only now 40k away, and that'll unlock Drakes, and then 1 more level after that will be Abyssal Demons for our whip. Right guys, we've got a task of 51 minions of Scarabus, so you know what that means. It's some thieving pyramid time. Hey guys, here we are, just doing a little bit of Slayer with Steve. Currently doing Bloodveld, so I'm just doing the Unsold Heads here at CIS. This will be 75 prayer, which is kind of crazy to think, because, you know, we stopped properly training prayer at like 70 from pest control, so the XP has been adding up nicely. 75 prayer on the account. Apparently that's the level for the Elysian, which we'll probably never get. Hey everybody, and with the death of this Bloodveld, we should be getting ourselves 84 Slayer like I mentioned in the last clip, so there it is. But that's really, really nice. That means 1 more level and we can get our Abyssal Whip, and then 3 more levels we can get our Trident. There we go guys, 350 tasks in a row complete, 270 points for that one. We also amazingly got 6 Brimstone keys from this 1 Dust Devil task, which is more than I think I've ever seen from a single Slayer task. That's ridiculous. Gonna go crack these open, see if we get any good loot, and then we'll go grab another task from Steve. Okay gamers, we've got ourselves 6 keys, let's see what we get. Whole bunch of steel bars, rune plate, some coal, some dragon dart tips and dragon arrow tips that we can't use. Hey everyone, here we are doing some Necreals, finally a decent task, but coming in here, a kind of a double whammy of levels pretty much, but there we go, there's our hit points level, 96 health, which is crazy, 3 more for the hit points cape, and that's 1925 total on the account, and then very shortly we'll be getting 86 mage, which I don't think particularly unlocks anything good. Obviously once we have our trident, then more mage levels will mean more max hits, because the trident's damage scales with your mage level, so it'll be even more important to get more mage levels once we do hit that 87 Slayer. But yeah, for now, in terms of Slayer, we're still 84 and we're 212k away from 85. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Hopefully we'll get to TzHarmed task one day and we'll be able to move on with our account and get some upgrades. Right guys, mid-gargoyle task, got ourselves a hard casket because I'm just that much of a gamer. Let's see if we pull any cool uniques. No, but a decent assortment of alcohols. Nice money. Hey everybody, here we are doing a Dust Devil task in the Catacombs, because it's early enough on a Friday that we can actually get a world. Just want to get it done before like people get on the game and I can't find a world or get crashed. This is our second superior of the task. As you can see in the event, we've had 2 Dark Totem pieces already. This third guy will guarantee us the 3rd Dark Totem piece that we need for a full Skotiz-owned attempt. Now, of course, with that boss we are seeking 2 combat achievements other than just the 1 KC, so we might go try that in a bit. Obviously, we are still just going for a TzHarmed task and we still haven't had one. It may be at some stage that I start burning through Slayer points just to do skips, but I'd rather not because we've saved up over 1,000 points and it really hurts to skip good tasks. But there we go, there's our Dark Totem top, some rune arrows and some coins, so nothing exciting from that guy. So we are now 111k away from 85, which is where we'll get our Abyssal Whip. But there we go, going to carry on doing Dust Devil, see you guys later. Oh my goodness guys, here it is. We're actually only 39k XP away from 85 Slayer. It's took like over a full level to get this task, and it's the most common task from Steve, but here we go. We now have a Slayer task of 1 Jad. Maybe we'll try a Skotiz-owned first? But I'll just go organise our invent. We'll use up all these bars from gargoyle tasks, get a little bit of smithing and fletching XP out of those, and then we'll unknow and decant our potions into 4, sell all these runes off, and alch the stuff that we're not taking in. Kind of excited to go give this a go now that we're going to have the on-task bonus. We finally got a task, this could be it. Okay guys, we finally have our Jad task, so we need to clean our invent up. So what I'm doing is I'm going to attempt this Dark Totem Skotiz-owned kill. So I think what we do is we basically just attack Skotiz-owned till he starts putting altars up around the room. Then we go around and damage all of them up to like a tiny little bit of health left, and then we leave them all alive for a minute. And if you leave all the altars alive for a minute and then go around and kill them, they shouldn't respawn anymore. And one of the combat achievements we need here for our medium achievements, which is the reason we're doing this, is to kill him with no altars up. So if we can do this kind of altar exploit or strategy, whatever it might be, then it might be that we can actually get at least one of the combat achievements. Don't have enough ancient shards to make a arc light, but I have brought the dark light just in case we can just kind of tap him once when he's 1 HP with that, because that should still count for the combat achievement. So that's the login time where all the altars were up. So if we wait till about 25-26 minutes, then that should be the time when we can go round and finish all the altars off. And I brought 3 full prayer pots for this. Probably going to have to pray mage and just stand around for a full minute, so it's going to be quite a long kill. But I had no idea if you just leave them all up for a minute that they stop respawning. I don't know if that is still the case because this video is from 2021, so it could have very well been a bug that's been patched since this video. But like I say, if we can do this with no altars up and finish him with this rubbish dark light, then that will mean we've completed all the Skotiz-owned combat achievements for the medium tier, which is what we're going for, of course, for our Gommel's Hilt. So there we go, we've lined up the boys, so if we just stop moving now, we should be able to hopefully kill him. As you can see, our hit chance here is 39.95%, but all the altars are down, so we should have less defense than his possible maximum. The only scary thing, like I say, is we're going to have to run next to him to try and get the last hit with the dark light. This is so much easier than the last time I tried these. I didn't watch a guide, I just tried it the main way, where you just literally run in and keep running around the room. Of course, we ran out of run energy because we don't have staminas on this account. Might have just killed him there. Okay, he's on 8 health. This is ideal. So let's, real quick, pot up, eat up, and then we'll go in for a hit and try and get out of the way before he does. Oh my gosh, so clean. Skotiz-owned champion 1KC, demonic weakening for not having any altars up, and demon bane weaponry for killing him with this absolutely terrible weapon. That's all our Skotiz-owned achievements done in 1 kill. I'm super happy with that. So glad we don't technically have to come back here. Of course, during our Slayer Grand, we'll probably get some more totems, so we might be back here anyway, because there are some cool drops at this boss, including guaranteed clue scrolls and a very low drop rate pet. But there it is. Let's have a look real quick at our combat achievements. I think all we have left is Dagonoth Kings, which is kind of crazy. We're just not going to be heading to DKs until we've gone to Barrows and got a couple of pieces of gear. Of course, we're doing the medium combat achievements to go to Barrows with more efficiency, but we will have to go there just to get a few tank pieces so we can go attempt the Dagonoth Kings, because it's really, really scary. If you die at the Dagonoth Kings, then your items remain in the boss room or slightly outside, so you do have to venture all the way through the Waterbirth dungeon again, which for our account with our rules will be super scary because we'll drop everything inside. Anyway, yeah, that's Skotiz-owned complete. Super happy with that one. Really glad that's out of the way. Next step is Jad, so we can stack up on strength bonus, then get back to Slayer, get this last 40k, then get a whip, and then we'll be plain sailing. See you there. Okay guys, it's the invent. Gonna go attempt Jad on task, see if it goes well basically. And hopefully we don't die very, very embarrassingly early, because we do have a Slayer Helm bonus. And now, like I say, I'm not actually entirely sure whether the Slayer Helm does work on all the monsters in here, or if it's just on Jad himself. But obviously we did get to Jad last time, so we can do this. But last time we had super restores instead of prayer pots, so we got slightly more prayer in a full invent. Just dropped like 10 prayer pots and a range pot and 900k cash outside. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Wish me luck. Right guys, here we are in the fight cave. It's about time when we start getting rangers and mages at the same time. So it's kind of where the fight cave actually starts having some kind of difficulty to it. It's weird, the fight caves, because as you go through, incrementally new enemies appear, but every time you reach a new enemy appearing, the waves get easier for a bit, and then it reintroduces the old enemies at the same time. I do think the damage bonus is applying to every monster, because if I'm potted up and praying, I'm hitting like 34s. But our DPS calculator says our max hit is 26 or 30 when we pray, which leads me to believe there is a 15% buff being added to that, because I don't really want to spend another week going for a TzHarmed task just to get this done. I really want the fire cape out of the way, and then we can probably end the episode. A bunch of combat achievements and a fire cape as well. Dude just brain farted there and prayed range for the start of that wave, so I've used like 4 food for that mistake. Really stupid, but these things happen. Nice easy wave this one. We've got double rangers coming up next again though, and we are completely out of food, so kind of worried. I don't think we'll be able to tank all Jad's healers with no food. Okay guys, this is double mages coming up, which means it's the final wave before Jad. Jad's going to spawn over there, which might be a decent spawn actually. It's quite close to like an alcove we could maybe abuse to lure the healers, so that's good. You want to be able to duck into cover immediately so you can pray against his first attack properly. Okay guys, here we go. Jad should spawn right there. There he is. Wish me luck. Let's see what happens. So here we are, wave 63, our third fire cape attempt and our second attempt at Jad himself. So for this one I just decided to go ahead and try and tank all the healers. I made sure to line them up in a straight line so only the one at the front could melee me, so there's only one enemy attacking at the same time. I even went as far as to put on the double HP regen prayer as well as the plus 5% stone skin prayer or whatever it is, just for the maximum defensive bonus to try and tank through them, and then solely just concentrated on nailing the prayers for Jad. The bow started to noodle quite a lot towards the end. We went down to like 34 health. I was really kind of worried that we'd just get terrible RNG and not kill the guy before we died to literally the punches from a single healer, but we did actually eventually manage to take him down. That's it, boys. Fight Cave's veteran, elite combat task, 1 KC on Jad, and the prestigious collection log slot of a fire cape. No pet. Elite task Karamja. Oh my gosh, my heart's racing. Oh, there it is. A Jad. 1 hour, 51 seconds. Dude, I'm so glad we hit there. We were noodling for a while. Look at this thing, man. This is what we've been working towards all episode. 2 prayer bonus, 4 melee strength, 11 in all defenses. So now there's nothing stopping us getting the max strength bonus possible to send these last few Slayer levels. Also with that Jad task we earned 37,000 XP, so that actually put us only 2k away from 85. So literally any task that we get next is going to push us over the level to be assigned Abyssal Demons to get our whip. We've unlocked Dragon Boots this episode, we've unlocked Drakes, we've done a ton of combat achievements. Here's the stats for those interested. We will be re-gearing into some nice melee stuff and going back to Slayer immediately next episode, but there it is, Fire Cape on the account. Attempt number 3, just took us a Slayer task to be able to do it. Really glad you can unlock the Slayer task before getting a KC to make it easier. But we also get access to the inner circle of the TzHarmed city, I'm sure you all know. There's a bunch of cool amenities inside this inner ring. There's basically a few better shops than the outside. There's some fishing that we can do in here. We can fish these infernal eels, they're called, and you can smash them down into lava scale shards, so you can actually make extended anti-fires using these fishing spots without having to go to lava dragons in the wilderness, which will be super useful later on when we can actually make those potions. We also get ourselves the Inferno, which obviously we're not doing anytime soon. There's some gem shops and armor shops which trade in Tokkul. So as you can see, we can buy the full obsidian set for strength bonus. We can also kill these stronger TzHarmed in here on or off task and get these obsidian items as drops for the collection log. There's also some cool ore places, some gem stalls, some like gem holding TzHarmeds that you can thieve from. This is going to be kind of a cool place because I believe you can buy rune ore here, which you'll be be a good place to come if we do want to get our rune crossbow back very easily. We can just bring some chaos or death runes to like one of these shops, sell them for Tokkul, then use the Tokkul to buy this rune, or shout out to someone in the comments on one of the recent videos who suggested this. And also the big thing is the uncut onyx is something we can buy from this shop. If we sell chaos runes, it should cost us about 3 mil GP to buy enough chaos runes to be able to get this, but of course that'll be a fury, or even with a Zenite shard like a ring of suffering or something. Yeah, it's 90 for the fury, so we need one more crafting level with a stew. All this cool stuff unlocked thanks to unlocking this fire cape, and of course the fire cape itself has some really nice melee bonuses which will help us on Slayer and future bossing. Right guys, and with our fire cape finally obtained, I'm going to call this the end of the episode here. I do hope you enjoyed this one. We started the episode out, of course, getting 13 quick fire making levels from 72 to 85, which is the fire making level for all diaries and the Infernal Axe, and in the meantime we pulled a few Wintertalk collection log slots, which is always a bonus. We did some more skilling throughout this episode. We got 75 fletching, which is of course the level for rune arrows, 85 cooking, which is the level for wild pies, and of course 84 slayer, which is the level for drake tasks going forward. We did a couple of miscellaneous achievement diary things, mainly around farming. For example, we both grew a Salastrus and protected a magic tree for some Korend and Western elite tasks. We completed the Bear Your Soul mini quest, and of course we smashed out a ton of combat achievements in this one. We completed the easy tier, and we've done most of the medium tier minus the Dagonoth Kings. Of course we went to Temperos, we went to Moss Giants, we went to Obor, we went to Giant Mole, and we went to Sarachnis, completed all those, and then we of course killed Jad and obtained our fire cape as well, giving us access to Inner Mortal Wreck, which has new ore and gem stores, fishing opportunities, obsidian armor, Jad challenges, the Inferno, all sorts of cool stuff we can potentially do in future. Speaking of combat, we did a ton of Slayer in this video almost accidentally. We spent so long going for skips for our spider task to kill Sarachnis and doing regular tasks to get a Jad task from Steve that we got almost 2 entire Slayer levels. We're actually only a few thousand XP away from unlocking our whip, so no doubt we'll grab that next episode. So alongside the dragon boots we've already unlocked and the fire cape we got this episode, we should have a bunch more max hits and strength bonus when doing the rest of our Slayer. We can get ourselves our Trident. With our Trident, we'll probably head to Barrows just for a couple of tank pieces to make DKs a bit safer, try and get our 10 kills at each Dagonoth King, complete our medium diary, and then with that we'll be able to actually fully send Barrows, try and get maybe a full set for the Elite Mauritania diary, and actually pull some pieces that we want to keep. So that's kind of a vague plan of the progression going forward. If you guys have any better ideas, please let me know below. Of course, we've unlocked the access to buy the Onyx now, so if we do get any cash from doing Slayer, then maybe we'll go back, do ourselves one more crafting level, and then we can stew boost and get a Fury, which will be super good as a Tribrid amulet, and we already have the level to stew boost and make ourselves the Ring of Suffering, so it might be time to unblock Black Demons as well on the way to 87 Slayer, and maybe go try ourselves some Demonic Gorillas, so we can have a ring with loads of recoil charges in it instead of having multiple recoils in our already limited invent. So yeah, regardless, appreciate you guys tuning into this episode as ever. If you want to go back and watch the full playlist, it's available on the channel in order if you're interested in this account from its very conception all the way to now. Thanks for tuning in and listening this long. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully like and sub if you would, and yeah, take care of yourselves. See you in a couple of weeks.